Ever wondered how a basketball game franchise like NBA Live managed to stumble easily in competition and was never given a brief second chance? More so with a game like NBA Live 19 being their final shot. I mean, to be truthful, there are tons of reasons out there that has yet to be discovered. And think about this, back in the year 2019, when NBA Live 20 was officially cancelled all over social media, most people, including myself, were feeling uncertain about this franchise's future. Now that we have the PS5 and Xbox Series systems, how could we imagine NBA Live possibly fitting on next gen? Well, let's find out. How to revive it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Now, we should know at this point, NBA Live as a whole franchise has since been dormant since the release of NBA Live 19, and it's completely a no-brainer. From the release of NBA Elite 11 to the overall cancellation of NBA Live 13, all the way to a huge travesty known as NBA Live 14. It just felt like throughout the 2010s and so on and so forth, the franchise has been continuing to lose its identity. However, now that we are in the 2020s, EA Sports, to my surprise, has been showing out with these so-called reboots or attempts to make another game from an older franchise. For instance, we have PGA Tour on PS5 and Xbox Series. Meanwhile, dating back to 2021, they teased a return to college football. Like, bro, look at the details on this mascot. How come games like NBA Live, how come they won't do that? Now, in all seriousness though, just an FYI, some of you guys know, I hope, that I have been trying to revive this dead franchise known as NBA Live throughout the entire year. The majority of this year has been me desperately attempting to revive NBA Live and put it back into the spotlight so it could get some recognition and some hope that it should make a comeback at some point in the future, which leads us into this video. Now, I'm no game developer, but consider this some sort of wish list, okay? So with that being said, if they want to make this work, the first idea should be focused on identity. Now, what this means is reboot the entire series completely, okay? Now, some of us know at this point that they have done this in the past before and it did not work out as planned. NBA Elite 11 did it, and to my surprise, NBA Live 13 as well, up until its cancellation. So therefore, they were not succeeding when it comes to reboots. So I was thinking that NBA Live should be retitled as EA Sports NBA or EA Sports NBA Live to further distinguish it from the past titles. So therefore, the game could look fresh and brand new. It's going to be a new beginning, and then come up with a proper tagline, a slogan, something like Hoops Reborn or something like that. That's just something that I randomly came up with. You know, whatever tagline that has a proper spark to it. So therefore, it could persuade people into thinking that EA Sports are indeed for real with this reboot. Make this game a 9th gen only exclusive, strictly for the PS5 and the Xbox Series XS, and use the current Frostbite engine, so therefore the game could look lifelike and appealing. Moving on to the next idea, and that is gameplay improvement. So with this section, I got quite a few ideas to consider. Let's start off by saying this: either make Ultimate Team a thing but without microtransactions, or just get rid of the mode altogether, because apparently at this point microtransactions has been riddling the sports gaming market, especially on 2K's behalf with the season pass and everything. Because I'm hoping if they do make this game, please do not fall under the same trap with the season pass. Do it like how the UFC games have done recently and not include Ultimate Team. Please, I'm begging. I might doubt it because it's EA, but I'm just saying though. And then adjust, balance, tweak, and invent new gameplay elements, so that way NBA Live on next gen could feel more arcade-ish, if that makes more sense, but with some realistic aesthetics on next gen systems here and there. Just sprinkled a little bit of that realism in there, but make the game more fun and playable. Make the AI behave differently throughout different difficulty settings. I'm talking from easy mode to medium to hard mode, whatever they want to call it in this game. Now, some of you, including myself, might have not remembered this feature, but back in NBA Live 06, I've done research. Back in the day, Live 06 had this feature called Superstar Abilities. So that way, each and every NBA player on the roster could play like how they would play in real life, with different diverse styles of gameplay. Why don't EA bring that back on this next-gen game in the future and do it similar to how Madden does it with the Superstar X Factor abilities, but in their own fashion, put their own twist into it. Then revamp the World Tour mode that was in Live 19, include new locations from different countries, make it diverse. Imagine if this game was to have Tokyo, London, even Rome or Dubai, with a few courts being named after certain brands like Adidas, Puma, Nike, Jordan, Under Armour, etc. Make those courts stand out. The traits feature that were in NBA Live 18, revamp the traits and make new ones specifically for this game. Then separate all of them into 4 different tiers: a bronze tier, silver tier, gold tier, and platinum tier, like how badges work in NBA 2K from bronze to Hall of Fame. Have every NBA player on the roster and creative players equipped with 3 different types of player styles, which could be offensive, defensive, or athletic, and make them balanced to the point where nobody would be cheesy or glitchy or outright broken. And last but certainly not least, have different gameplay styles, because for instance, remember back in Madden 18 they introduced us to 3 different gameplay styles: competitive, arcade, or simulation. Be sure to put that in the game, because I know for a huge fact that certain people are completely split in the 2K community to the point where they don't know what type of game they want. Some people want realness while others want a fun game to play. Balance the gameplay styles in that game so everybody could have a chance to play their own way. Moving on to the next idea, which is progression system. Now this is going to be short and sweet. So for those of you that know, in NBA Live 19 there are 3 different rep systems or whatever. We have the career hype, live run hype, and I think the court battle hype as well. I'm not sure why that was even a thing, but that was just a one-time deal. I would for sure appreciate it if they were to keep the former 2 alive, career and live run hype, and revamp them into career rep and live run rep instead. Make them look different and give them a different name. They have to be sort of brand new. And while we're at it, give us, the players, good rep rewards that actually mean something when playing online in this game. Because if you know 2K, they are blasphemous with these rep rewards as of late, with the season pass and all that, from getting a Halloween haircut as a rep reward and a robot, some like Terminator / RoboCop suit. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but for NBA Live, they have to give us good rewards that could possibly reflect the meaning of playing basketball. It has to be something like a good amount of in-game currency that has nothing to do with microtransactions, an arm sleeve here, an old school jersey there, some new shoes. I'm just thinking these ideas off the dome, you know what I mean? Speaking of progression, make a brand new progression system for the career mode, ultimate team mode, if they're gonna bring it back. I hope not. And as I mentioned already, in-game currency as in coins that you can earn by playing games, but do not make them too much of a grind to do so in order to shop for items such as clothes, shoes, or accessories, etc. You know what I mean? And now we are going into idea number 4, career mode. So in my opinion, EA Sports should have a cinematic campaign mode similar to the likes of EA Sports F1 or Formula 1 series, with their recent games having a deep story mode. For instance, F1 23's The Breaking Point. And apparently from what I've seen thus far, this game has a deep storyline to consider, some nice looking visuals, almost realistic cutscenes, and character designs that look super lifelike in my opinion, especially to those Formula 1 fans out there. But anyway, aside from that, I feel like basketball games, as far as story goes, I feel like they have been diving hugely under rock bottom as of late. You know, back when NBA 2K14 had a storyline about you against your rival to see who could outdo who, while later on 2K16 had an even deeper storyline involving someone's death, courtesy of Spike Lee, by the way. I feel like these days they take the same formulaic route about this urban to-be movie type storyline that NBA is having right now with, oh, represent this, y'all, what's up, what's good, bro? We don't have time for none of that no more. So I feel like NBA Live, if they're going to make this work, have a deeper campaign mode. I'm not asking for an Oscar or an Academy Award winning storyline. I'm not asking for none of that. But if you want the story to work, make it mean something. Make it mean something to where it could reflect that passionate feeling of playing basketball. And plus, use the Frostbite engine to develop lifelike cutscenes and visuals, so it would look promising, both opening cinematic and the rest of the cutscenes. And by all means, please do not shorten the story, because I vividly remember, I kid you not, back then, NBA 2K, when they have a storyline going on, once you get in the NBA draft, the story is over. No, make the story last and have some entertainment value or replay value. And of course, make an in-depth player builder. Add more types of builds that can relate to other NBA players, similar to 2K24 these days with the My Player Builder. Because with Live 19's My Player Builder, it's not bad by any means, but it could have been better. Now, let's talk game modes. Now, I do have quite a couple of ideas in my mind right now. So let's start off with this. Have an opening cinematic that takes place, for instance, during the NBA Finals. Like, imagine the home team of that game, they have to win the game with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Make that the tutorial where new players can get used to the new controls and gameplay mechanics alike. So therefore, we could have the next generation feel when we play the game for the first time. Now, I remember when Live 18 and 19 has done this, to where they would have an opening cutscene at the beginning when you first boot up the game, and then they throw you right into the game. I want this next gen concept to do it differently. Like, have an opening cinematic and then make it a tutorial all at the same time. I just feel like that would be a bit beneficial. And then make the live run mode in NBA Live have 5 different modes. I'm talking 1v1, 2v2s, 3s, 4s, and 5v5s, even though they've been had 3v3 and 5v5 in the past. But still, yet again, add those other options, so that way us players could try out a variety of different game modes. And then bring back the dynamic DNA from NBA Live 09, which was thrown away like an afterthought, which focused on how the real NBA players were playing back in the day in terms of performance and injuries. What if they revamp that and then update the player ratings based on how they would perform throughout the season? I would like for them to give us players a chance to create our own teams, relocate those teams, and or expand the league, like how NBA 2K does it with the My League. They should make that its own separate feature as an option, you know what I mean? So let us create our own teams so we can take them to the NBA Finals and put our players on it. Or just in case Live Run doesn't work out as planned, give us a squads mode. You know, like how in FIFA they have this Volta squads mode in their game, so therefore they would put that as a separate mode right next to Live Run, and let us invite our own friends into that squad so we can create our own teams and then go head to head against others. And last but not least, add classic players, NBA icons, legends, and all-time teams in the game. Because if 2K could do it, I personally feel like NBA Live should be given the chance to do the same thing as well. However, that could depend on if EA could secure the licenses for these players' likenesses and whatnot. We don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see eventually. And lastly, we cannot forget the release date, okay? Now, here are my few words of advice for EA if they are planning on doing this project in the future. Release this game in a different time to avoid being overshadowed by a future NBA 2K game, because we all know NBA 2K nowadays come out in early September. So I feel like it's a safer idea for EA to push the game's release date around the start of the NBA season early on in the fall, so therefore they wouldn't go head to head. So it's best to avoid further competition with 2K, because it will indeed be a scary sight if they do. So I feel like it's safer to put it out later on in the fall and put it out at the right time, because they have to add extra polish to the game so it won't feel rushed or broken, and that way it would be guaranteed ready to come out in stores, okay? So I feel like EA has to think about this twice and go to the drawing board and think about how they have to release the game on time. And now that I think about it, I do want to put these honorable mentions out as well, both feedback and promotion. For the former, feedback, EA, please, if you want want this game to succeed, you have got to listen to your community on the regular and update the game more often on a consistent basis in order to get the game back on track. Because even though, like I said, I am not the biggest NBA Live fan anymore, at least, but I can respect how passionate certain fans are in order for this game to make a huge comeback. And as far as promotion goes, please, and by all means, please, I mean this, do not put out tons of live action trailers with random actors or celebrities or even NBA players strictly boasting about what's in the game. Instead, have a gameplay trailer straight to the point with an in-game footage, showcase new features, or even put out a blog on the website, editor's notes, whatever, involving the changes and additions that are in the game. I hope you guys understand now that it is not too late, okay? I understand, yes, NBA 2K, while that game is still going under scrutiny, it is still the top basketball game in the video game market to this day, and that is, without a doubt, no question. But, like I said, I am no game developer, but take these ideas into consideration as an influence even. But again, we have no idea what the future holds for NBA Live, but let time tell for itself on whether or not NBA Live is coming back. But anyway, those are my ideas. That is my wish list on an NBA Live game if they were to revive it on next-gen systems. Let me know down below in the comment section, what are your ideas and thoughts of an NBA Live game? How would you see it come back on next gen? Do you think it's coming back on next gen in the future? Again, time will tell, but let's just see what happens, okay? With that being said, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to subscribe if you are new. Turn on post notifications. And with that being said, it's been Viral, and I'm signing out. Peace. No, I'm really just